Why, hello. I didn't see you there. Rather drab for a British man like me. You see, in the past week, I denaturalized from the United States. States of America. Fucking can't do this Queen's Gambit bullshit, man. We're still Americans. But fuck. Welcome to Five Live, man. Shit is fucked up.
Man.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I mean, I had a good week.
Should we do it? Let's just fucking... Topic number one. Some conservatives say it's hypocritical that liberals and people in general condemn this, but not the Black Lives Matter protest. Off the bat, Mal, break that down.
It's easy for these people that have never, actually been marginalized to look at other people trying to fight for equal rights and just an equal standing in society. And it's easy for them to look at them and think that they're asking of a lot when they have never been inconvenienced by society. So it's funny because like these conservatives are just from the looks of things, they seem very confused about the actual state of the world, or they're not confused, they just don't care.
It's also like, even if you were to say that Black Lives Matter protests also got too like violent or intense for your liking at some point, why is now when you're choosing to bring it up, it's like, no, there was a fucking terrorist attack. A bunch of Nazis and Klansmen stormed the Capitol, tried to burn it down. For all we know, tried to murder Mike Pence, exactly. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Democrats and Republicans alike. And it seems like now is an awfully strange time to be like, well, look at the Black Lives Matter protest. It was just like this. And it's not just like this.
Exactly.
Because ultimately in one case, we were, and I say we because I was there in DC too, protesting a murder by a man who swore to protect and serve that we all saw. And in the other case, it was an insurrection based on an internet fallacy. Right.
It's been crazy for me just to kind of like step back and look and just see how like divided the nation actually is. Like we've been kind of like compartmentalized from like black, white to red and to blue, like kind of like in like a four-way split. And like, they say, man, when people are separated, they're easier to control. And sometimes I think that's what it really boils down to, because imagine if the people that were protesting, at the Capitol the other week joined forces with the people that were protesting at the Black Lives Matter movement for one greater good, for equal rights for everybody, for better pay, higher wages. Yeah,
it couldn't be denied.
It really couldn't, and it's really disappointing to see how compartmentalized society has become, and it always has been. So
to close the loop, why the fuck are you bringing that up now?
Black people did it, so why can't we? Like, yeah, they're kind of just reaching for straws. Like, the Black Lives Matter protest has nothing to do with what they did. They didn't get their way and they bitched. Like, that's really all it is. Like, we're not getting our way. Like, Black Lives Matter, or they're protesting because people are getting killed, not because they're the guy they like didn't get elected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the key. Didn't get elected. The votes were cast. The people spoke. That's it. There's no grand conspiracy. You're just stupid.
Yeah.
I hate to be so blunt, but topic number 2, Blue Lives Matter. It's interesting that the same people who decried the Black Lives Matter protest and screamed Blue Lives Matter were attacking cops, brutalizing them as they tried to conduct their job, killing one of them, Mr. Sicknick, in tragic fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Do Blue Lives Matter to you?
Yeah, like, do you know how brutal you have to dislike somebody? You know how much someone does not have to matter to you to beat their head in until they die? Like that.
With a fucking fire extinguisher.
With something that's meant to save your life. Imagine
that
getting
fucking
killed.
Nazi killed this Capitol Police officer with a fire extinguisher.
Imagine getting killed by the same people that have been saying you matter all year with an object that's meant to save your life.
The ultimate mind fuck.
Yeah, that just it shows how senile these people are, like how backwards their thinking is. Like they all of 2017, 18, they were talking about, like, they were stroking off the troops and saying how much simply kneeling for a national anthem was disrespectful. And meanwhile, they're flying conservative, and they're flying Confederate. They are flying
not the conservative, the Confederate flag.
They are flying Confederate fucking Confederate flags in our nation's capital. Like that. That's
Confederacy,
the most disrespectful thing you can do to the troops, even though some of the troops are, but we won't get into that.
The Confederacy is the ultimate act against patriotism. It is the ultimate disavow against your duty, your honor, if you want to think in those terms, to the United States. So to fly that flag in the guise of patriotism is just so fucking backwards, man. It doesn't make any sense.
The only thing it stands for is racism. That wasn't even the original. Yeah. Like the Confederate flag, that flag was never used in battle. Like the original, the Confederacy flag was like, I want to say it was a lot more simpler. It was like a couple bars and like, I want to say like 13 stars. Don't quote me on this. Like, we can show a picture of it, but it did not look like that. That flag was born as a symbol of Southern pride and a rejection of integration. Like, it was literally just born to be a symbol of racism.
That flag, the only thing that flag doesn't represent your great grandfather's pride. Great grandfather Timothy Turner marched in the Confederacy, the rebels, man. He gave his best in battle, and then the Union came down. No, man. The only shit that represents is thinking that it's okay to own another person. Literally. That's all it represents.
Dude, listen, if anyone listening to this disagrees with me, look at me. Your granddad lost. He fucking lost.
Fuck you and fuck your ancestors. You lost the war.
They lost. Bad.
I'd be upset by that, but I don't care.
Yeah, man. I don't care.
You're upset by that. How do you think I feel as a Jew seeing Nazis in the seat of power and the seat of democracy in my country? How do you think Malik feels seeing Klansmen in there? Fuck your grandpa.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. It's just, yeah.
Woo. Topic number 3. Trump is the first person to actually get canceled. Now, what do you think?
It tells us, like, definitely, like, it tells us two things. The first being that these companies were definitely able to do this entire time. They enabled this for 4 years, longer than 4 years. They allowed this to happen. They knew what he was about. These are these technology companies know a lot more than they tell us, because they're in control of a lot of the technology and a lot of the information around the globe right now. And
yeah, man,
the fact
the Jews are just fucking
have this
taking
platform,
over.
the fact that they allowed him to have this platform and this voice the way he's had it, and they're just now all kind of just all of them are just kind of like all at once. It's like, yeah, actually we condemn white supremacy, we condemn fascism, we condemn this, fucking 2 weeks before he leaves office.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Right. No, it's pretty clear.
It's
like they
bullshit.
Yeah. Agreed, man.
It's bullshit.
Agreed.
And the second thing it tells us is, I forgot even the second point I was going to make. That's the only point. That's all I got to say. Is it's BS. It's everything seems just so performative. Like, it's weird. Like over the past year.
But also, let me make a separate point. Let me make a separate point. All right. Like, this is the worst thing he's done, probably. I mean, we can make arguments about separating children at the border, you know, shitting all over the climate and telling Mother Earth to go fuck herself, a laundry list of items. But inciting a violent Rob, some of those guys might have been named Rob, but a violent mob of Nazis and Klansmen to go attack the seat of America's democracy and disrupt a sacred tradition of the peaceful transfer of power, that's the worst thing he's ever done. So it rose to a new level, and the social media companies decided to act. Yeah, they have a lot of fucking power, and they could have and probably should have did this earlier, because if you look at their rules, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the like, Trump broke them often. But because of his executive privilege, they let him get away with it. And, you know, Edward Snowden had a tweet sort of tamping down the enthusiasm of Trump getting censored and saying, like, look, regardless, maybe this had to happen, but this is a dangerous precedent of censoring a president. And I agree with Snowden, man. Like, in this way, Trump fucked us just one more time. He brought us down with him. As when I get censored, when you have a small victory as the people working against me, I'm still going to harm the long-term health of your democracy. One final fuck you.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because like a lot of I see like a lot of liberals that kind of just like celebrating his demise, which is like, obviously they're going to, because they a lot of people operate politically from a very emotional standpoint, not a logical standpoint, and
and it's hilarious. A lot of people, it's also hilarious. That
it is super funny. It is funny, but it's at the same time, it's like freedom of speech doesn't actually exist. These freedoms that were allotted are all illusions, and they're all conditional, and they are all fickle. Okay, because they're not the same for everybody. They're not the same for everybody. The right to bear arms does not have the same playing field across the board. So doesn't free speech. So doesn't a lot of these things that were these rights that were given as Americans. So like, I just think it's all and like, why would we expect, you know, people to listen to a 300-year-old paper, you know, like, just because they're rules. Like, one day they're gonna stop listening to it. The Constitution is not that important to some people, and people have to realize that. Just because some old guys wrote it 200 years doesn't mean it's going to be important.
Right. I mean, I agree that the Constitution is sort of symbolized and lionized in a way that doesn't necessarily represent its actual influence on American politics. And then on the other hand, Trump is a case study, man. Like, what's happening right now, this sort of digital punishment, this parallel legal system where he's not impeached, he's not getting the 25th Amendment, but we have another court of law, not just the court of public discourse. And when you're excommunicated from that, that's a real punishment, especially for a guy who rode that to his presidency, to his success, you know, financially and his celebrity.
Yeah.
So that's kind of amazing. You know, we've witnessed the democratization of technology along the axis of the internet, and that's a double-edged sword. It gave us the events of January 6th and that terrorism, it also silenced Trump.
Exactly. Like it's crazy because technology is kind of like a parallel universe within its own like respect. And once you're excommunicated from that, it's kind of ironic how now you can't go into this, fabricated digital world to reach the outside world. Like he can go out in public and stand on a soapbox and shout his ideology all he wants. He's not talking to fucking anybody. No one's going to hear him.
Right.
Like there might be a couple people there, a mob, but social media and like, that's like a megaphone to the world now. Yeah.
He was deplatformed.
It's something we've never had before, like, yeah.
Trump got sucked in the face, man. Dorsey neutered him. He got zucked.
It's insane because this is the first person it's actually happened to.
Yeah.
Like
Trump arguably got canceled harder than Harvey Weinstein.
It didn't happen to. He got canceled harder than Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby put together. All of them they all can go.
Can you imagine if we put together R. Kelly? Wait, yo, pause. Can you imagine if we put together R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and Harvey Weinstein? Yo, who would rape whom?
Just yo.
What would they do? Would they just? I'm sorry.
They just be all They just all be standing in the room, like pointing at each other, like the Spider-Man meme. Just
Hey, no, what I did. They're all like competing for like who's actually not a demonic evil person. And saying or maybe they would become best friends, Maybe we're looking at it wrong, Malik. Maybe it's a beautiful second chance.
R. Kelly,
the Great Society.
Bill, why am I getting dizzy, Bill? Why am I getting dizzy?
Oh my God,
I'm getting so sleepy, Bill.
and then Harvey would be like, this would be a wonderful documentary. But I'll only finance it if you both suck each of my testicles respectively, and I get exclusive licensing rights after. What a bunch of evil. But who's worse, man? Those three or the Nazi terrorists? That's the real question.
They're all worse in their own respect. Like, it's like how do you put a rapist up against how do you put a rapist up against a Nazi? It's just, it's like the Olympics of just disgust. Like I can't really give you a clear answer on that.
The Olympics.
I think they're both pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I'd much rather talk to a Nazi than a rapist, I guess.
Speak for yourself,
sit
dog.
In a room with both.
I mean, I guess. With the Nazi, bro, I say, give me a pay-per-view, dog. Give me a pay-per-view. Ryan Garcia.
Listen, it would suck if I'm like, yeah, I'd fight a Nazi, and then I get to the boxing match, and that nigga's bigger than me. Because you
gotta roll the dice.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You gotta roll the dice. Roll the dice.
Because now if I get my ass beat by a Nazi, then I'm just Nate Robinson, and I can't have
that. Oh man, yo, one security risk and breach that no one is talking about. The Capitol Police, the FBI. Every law enforcement agency in the country is headquartered in DC, and you couldn't do your fucking job. But AT&T, the owner of HBO, couldn't secure the Game of Thrones universe and stop that Dothraki man from invading the Capitol.
I feel like they just had some budget cuts because the last season was so shit. It was just, they were like, you know what, man, just do what you
They
do.
hired Harvey Weinstein's guard as
Man, Harvey Weinstein's guard.
Harvey Weinstein's prison guard.
He listen, he must have been the same prison guard that was guarding Osama bin Laden's apartment, and the same prison guards that were guarding the state capitol building, and the same prison guards that were waiting outside of Martin Luther King's door for him. You know,
who was killed by the CIA, for the record. Let me just put that out there.
Everyone's killed by the CIA. Everyone's killed by the CIA.
Facts. Hey, CIA, fuck you. You upgraded your website to make it look like you're some bullshit Silicon Valley startup. We still know that you're just a murderous, anti-democratic, bloodthirsty organization operating in the shallows. You've invaded half of Latin America, taken peaceful, democratically elected socialists and instated military coups, Operation Condor. We see you, motherfuckers.
And we know you motherfuckers gave Bob Marley cancer. We know you did it.
No one.
We know you did it. We know you did it.
What's that needle doing over here, man? I'm just playing my guitar now. Not
listen, man.
Topic number 4.
Yo, what are we? Has your mustache been progressively getting smaller?
Progressive? Me?
What?
Progressive? No. Stop the count, man. Stop the steal. Me? Progressive? Nah.
My bad.
Stop the steal, dog.
My bad.
We're going to the Capitol January 6th. It's going to be crazy. Bring your tiki torches, man. Bring your tiki torches.
I ain't going to be there.
Those people.
I ain't going to be there.
Those people are actually fucking crazy. Real talk. Like, those people, they're Nazis. They're Klansmen. They're terrorists. They're the worst of us. Fuck them, man. Let's move
And they got
forward.
small PPs.
And they got small PP, especially you, Dothraki, man. I see you with your small PP. Let's move forward. Be the best of ourselves and fucking wait, we still have to do topic number 4. Topic number 4. Look how close these motherfuckers are to each other. It's COVID still. Look how close these motherfuckers are.
It's just very hard to take virtue signaling from anyone with a Hitler stash, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Let me go take care of this, dude. Get that disgusting Nazi nonsense out of there. Did you see the dude in the Capitol with a Camp Auschwitz shirt?
Dude, yes, and that was off. Like, where do you? I hope. Part of me hopes.
Made my blood boil.
Part of me hopes he made that shirt for the occasion, because if like someone was just like, if he fucking found that shirt on like Depop or some bullshit, and someone's like actually selling that merch for Walmart, profit, I'd be, it's weird because like, it's just so disgusting to actually like put something like that on your body and stand for hatred that deeply.
Yeah.
I can't even really put it into context how disappointed seeing like disappointed but not surprised. That's what I should say.
Dude, maybe somebody was just like, maybe he was at a Trump rally and there was a guy like, hey man, $5 for a t-shirt. And he was like, what's that one? The black one right there, the black one, like blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, oh man, that's a concentration camp. And he's like, my teachers always told me I couldn't concentrate. I should get that t-shirt. Maybe let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I guess.
I ain't giving him.
Yeah. He does have a southern accent. He does have a southern accent. Are you mad that he has a southern accent? Viewer, he has a southern accent. Most of the people came from the South. What do you want me to say? lost the war.
Some of them aren't even from the South, man. Like, think about it. Like, a lot of those Proud Boys are literally just like those like weird ass kids that were like always just in your fucking engineering classes that never got pussy, that were just so resentful to everything and everybody that they had to create these secret fucking
if only Jeffrey was
4chan and 8chan and Reddit and Facebook, and they just had to just coagulate everybody but them, and wearing fucking neon shoes that don't match their outfits, and and they just hate.
Tiny Mix.
Hate. Like one of their initiations was like a 5 cereal, like squeezing their nipples while you punch it. Like, I'm like, dude, are you guys like in the 7th grade? Like they the Proud Boys are pussies. That's really all I have to say.
The Proud Boys. Yeah, the Proud Boys.
It is
are a bunch of weirdo, unsuccessful losers who couldn't do anything with their life, so the only way they could create purpose was through racism.
Some of them are actually wildly successful, and that's the scary part. That's what's weird. Some of them are like super successful people.
Really?
Some of them.
I have a hard time believing
some
that.
Of them. Some
there are successful racists. There are successful racists, no doubt. They're successful anti-Semites, no doubt. But the Proud Boys just strike me as a group of people who like never did shit in life, and so like this is their last stand at like actually making an impact or doing something or being something.
Yeah, for the most part, because not all of them can be successful. Not all of them can have good jobs, but there are some of them. There are some.
Right. Yeah. And that's fucked up. I guess let's put it in inverse terms. Just as there are people in prison today capable of winning a Nobel Prize, so too are there people in the Proud Boys, the scum of the earth, who are racists and anti-Semites. But look how close these motherfuckers are to each other, man.
Way too close, man.
Is running rampant. This is without question a super spreader event. Maybe this is just natural selection.
I'm not a huge fan of Darwin, but I guess he might have been right in this one scenario.
Yeah. This is like as twisted as it gets, but social Darwinism in action, man. A bunch of idiots who don't have the proper mental equipment to survive, giving each other COVID and dying off. Who knows? Maybe we'd be better off for it.
Yeah, it's weird. What would happen if there was a world with only liberals, though? Like, who would become the?
It would be awful, dude. It would be Dumbo. It would be Dumbo. You can't spend too long in Dumbo.
it would be Dumbo, dude. I go to Dumbo and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I
love Dumbo. I love Dumbo, but I couldn't
for a soda.
I love Dumbo, but like, I couldn't live there, dude. It's just too much of like what you said, like the social experiment of just liberals. You need some conservative flavor in there. Like this episode should not be taken as a tirade against conservatives. This is a tirade against Nazis, terrorists, Trump supporters who are still on the bus at this point. There were some good people who supported Trump back in the day, but like, if you're a Trump supporter still on the bus, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, like even like it's all conservative, conservatism, all like being conservative isn't 100% bad. Like, I'm super conservative with some things. Like if a girl texts me, I won't text her back. I'm conservative with my time.
Because you're awesome. So, real talk though, in all seriousness, man, after seeing what I saw on the 6th, it made me want to go get a gun, because we saw maximum incompetence of law enforcement. And I'm like, those are the people I'm supposed to call if I'm in trouble? Nah, like I should take that into my own hands. If those are the people I call.
That's the first time you've seen law enforcement incompetency.
Oh no, man. That just was the most recent. That was just the most recent. But let's talk about a hero,
the chat, because let me tell you, I got some stories, bro.
No doubt. I'm on that, dude. I'm 100% with you on that. I was just saying, like, that was my response when we saw what we saw. But let's talk about a hero, dude. The black Capitol police officer who led that crowd away from the Senate chamber, saved untold lives. Of course, the one dude to fucking do his job, black police officer.
Man, black people have been just holding this country down since they've been brought here. They have been holding this country down. Like it's just symbolic. It's symbolic of how black people have had to hold this kind of, not even the country, this world together, kind of.
Black people built American wealth, American capital, and black people provided the majority of American culture. American wealth and American culture is the summation of American value. Beyond that, what do we have? The Confederacy, not shit, you know? Everything we value in America comes down to its wealth, its business ecosystem, and its culture, both of which are, you know, directly indebted to black people.
Exactly. And like to see a black, multiple black law enforcement members be just providing a safe haven for these politicians that probably haven't done shit for them,
right?
Because it was solely their job, was powerful to see. But at the same time, being black and getting the opportunity like Mason white supremacists, like I do it too.
Yeah, dude.
I'd be like, I call them like, hey, I hear there's supposed to be a riot today. Y'all need me to come in? Y'all need me to come in? I can come in. You sure? I could take Joanne's shift. She could work I'll be there. I'll be like, I don't even. But in all seriousness, like working like that. And
in all seriousness, I was on those same steps with fellow protesters, demonstrators, documentarians, and journalists during the protest when Trump pepper sprayed us so that he could go out and take a Nazi photo with the Bible. And the police presence was immense. And then you have actual terrorists with guns and you don't do shit. That tells you all you need to know.
It's because we have to re-examine what terrorism looks like in this country, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, like it's not in Arab, our eyes, in the American eyes, the white eyes, white people don't believe that they have been doing wrong. The vast majority of white people do not believe that they are the bad guys in history, because that is how it is taught. History is taught by the victor. And unfortunately, now you have this untrue premise that all of these people of color are terrorist thugs and what have you. Meanwhile, it's been white people that have been destabilizing countries. It's been white people that have been extracting natural resources. It's been white people that have been dropping drone strikes on people for oil. So it's not really, I'm not saying all white people are bad. I'm saying white people need to redefine what terrorism looks like to them. Because what we saw on the 6th was textbook terrorism.
Doesn't get clearer than
how
that.
It's reported.
Violence to influence political outcome. Look it up in Merriam-Webster. It's terrorism, baby.
Yeah. They love throwing the dictionary at you when you're using Ebonics, and then all of a sudden...
Facts don't care about your feelings. Yeah. Hey, speak King's English.
Exactly.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Hold
on. We have to do an insurrection, so just put that on hold. and I mean,
terrorism,
I think
this isn't terrorism.
There's a question also of like, who are we talking about? We're definitely talking about the people who were there at the Capitol. And then beyond that, it gets a little bit murkier.
100%.
Like, who exactly 100%. Are we talking about? It's vague. We don't know.
Yeah. Just imagine if those people actually had weapons. Like,
there was a pipe bomb in the Capitol. People died.
I'm saying like
died, or 5 people.
I'm saying like if all of those people were heavily armed, that could have been bad, because then they could have potentially overthrown the government if they were ready. If they were all went there ready to die that day, it could have been worse, because that is the population of people that has majority of the arms on the political spectrum. The liberals don't have as much guns as conservatives do.
That's
so
true.
if all of them decided, you know what, we're going to break federal law, arm up, go down, and we're going to take this country, they couldn't have done shit to stop them.
That's true.
That would have been
That's
an actual civil war. And that's what we need to be grateful for. That
as
they were
bad
too,
as it was,
you know,
it could have been
fearful, and
worse.
they didn't actually have. Yeah, they didn't have an actual grounds to stand on. They don't support Trump that much. They like racism, but they weren't ready to die for it.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately,
And that's
they're
the difference
cowards.
between-
People were cowards.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the difference between them and their ancestors, because their ancestors would die about that shit. They just want to say shit on Facebook, you know?
Right. I mean, but they threw hands. They did literally break into the Capitol. So, I mean,
Yeah, they threw hands. They broke into the Capitol. A woman got shot in her neck, but you know, they weren't all ready to you know, they broke one law, and that's breaking into the Capitol. And if you were going to break that law, you could bring guns.
They broke a lot of laws. They broke a lot of laws.
Yeah, they broke a lot of laws, obviously, but that was the biggest law that they, you know, the breaking into the state capitol. Like that was the story. And like I'm saying, if you're gonna,
they broke at least 69 laws.
At least 69. Yeah. But like, it's just crazy how like it like they're kind of so like their cowardice was to a certain level where, you know, they, in my eyes, they didn't get the job done. They didn't get their mission. They didn't achieve their goal.
Yeah,
they failed a second time.
Right. Their goal was to ensure that the election results would not get certified, and in fact, the election results were certified. Sorry, Nazis.
It's weird because they lost a civil war, racist, and now they lost their president.
I feel kind of like I feel kind of like the Browns, like Baker Mayfield, like shit talking Juju. You know, I'm like, oh, Nazis, you couldn't get it done. Sorry. Looks like this is defeat number 5. You know, like the Browns is the Browns. You're Nazis, you couldn't do it. Klansmen, you couldn't do it. You suck as people.
Topic number 5. It's been a stressful episode. It's been a stressful fucking week. Let's get light. Malik, give me the vax. If you're lucky enough to get the vaccine soon, what would your most desired vaccine unintended superpower be?
Damn, but I think I would have like, I think I'd have like the superpower to have any superpower I want.
That's such a cop out. That's such a fucking cop out. The superpower
what do you mean that's a cop out?
The superpower to get treated by police the way. No, I'm not gonna go there again. I would like want to.
Maybe I have white privilege for a day.
Yeah.
Or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh shit. I wake up in the morning. I, you know, date anybody I want without being worried about it. You know, I'd maybe speed. I'd speed. I'd definitely speed. I'd drive 10 over, maybe 15.
Yeah. I would want to have old man privilege.
Cocaine. What?
Lots of cocaine. That's white privilege. I don't know what white privilege is. It's cocaine, okay? Donald Trump Jr., lots of cocaine. Have you noticed that? The guy is always coked up.
White privilege is cocaine and driving 15 miles over.
And on that note, folks, white note is cocaine and driving 15 over. Shit, I've benefited from it at times.
I got $1.
We'll leave you with that, man. Hopefully this year is better than this last one, and hopefully this week is better than this last one. Much love.
Yeah, you know what? Well, I'm going to try out this newfound white privilege. I'm Malik L.
I'm Ben Goodfriend.
And we'll see you later.
Yo, if it was real white privilege.
I had no time for it. Come on, learn on the beat, go your shine for it. Go lights on in the back, go time for it. Don't make no shine, go, I'm in the vaccine. I'm in the vaccine, got too many rocks in the vaccine. Oh God, yeah,